Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody, especially to the management of the South Summit. I think this opportunity for the regions of Spain to introduce the regional ecosystems, digital business is an actual opportunity for regions to develop and diversify their economy. And for Spain has been, I think, an interesting challenge during the last years. But fortunately, the regions of Spain have started to develop really interesting ecosystems in different sectors. And this is an amazing opportunity to introduce to the public in the South Summit about how can they do or what can they do in the regions of Spain. So first of all, we would introduce ourselves to briefly explain who we are and what we are doing in the different regions of Spain. So Cristina,
hello.
Tell us a little bit about Asturias and what you are doing there.
Thank you very much, Pablo. Hello to everybody. Thank you for attending this session. I'm Cristina Fanjul. I'm from Centro Europeo de Empresas e Innovación, Business Innovation Center in Asturias, small region on the north coast of Spain. This is the green Spain, the Atlantic Spain that probably not many of you have in mind. But we are a region with, let's say, a very lively ecosystem. We have an industrial tradition. We are proud of our industrial tradition. And we are trying to reinvent ourselves and trying to make from this industrialization and this wave on the GBP, on, let's say, opportunities for the startups. What I would like to say is that a small region has a lot of attention into, new entrepreneurs, new startups, new scale-ups. So what I think is a regional place-based ecosystem, as it is Asturias, is creating a kind of very soft landing for every entrepreneur, for every project, because we are very oriented to the project. So we have, let's say, unique programs, support programs, up to 400,000 euros as a pack for technology-based company starting. We have support infrastructure. We have different things. What is more important, and I think we will have time to discuss, is about talent, about the connection, and about everything. So I would like to show you some opportunities during the discussion.
Thank you, Cristina. What about Valencia, Nacho?
Hello. Thank you for the invitation. Yes, I'm Nacho Mas. I'm from Startup Valencia. Startup Valencia is a non-profit association. We are working together with the public side and also with the private side, with the companies, traditional companies, working to develop the startup ecosystem in all the region of Valencia, also in Alicante, in Valencia, and Castellón. We have a platform like you have here, or they have here, the South Summit in Madrid and in many cities. We have also the Valencia Digital Summit, and it's a platform that we current some events in the year. This year, the big event will be, I think it's 1,150 or something like this. And for us, it's a pleasure to be here and to share with you things about our ecosystem.
Thank you. And what are we doing in Alicante?
Hi everybody. I'm Celia Sanchez. I represent ALIA. ALIA is the Alicante Investment Agency. We are on the Mediterranean coast. We claim that we have a Mediterranean life with business quality. And within the global strategy of Alicante to development, we have the agency which has the goal to support soft landing as well for the companies coming. We have different lines of action. One of them is to provide business intelligence. We have a soft landing program in which we will accompany the company in all the steps, from the really first step of searching, evaluating if Alicante is the right city to really establish themselves and having a prospection on potential customers or suppliers. We also have another ecosystem in which we have companies and persons included that will support this soft landing and make a very easy integration in the city, but also with the outside world of Alicante. And I think that's it. We have a lot of talent that will comment also a little bit later on. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's come back to the north with Goldo and the Basque Country.
Okay, good morning. Firstly, thanks to South Summit for the invitation. I think this is the third time which we are here, and we have a long-term relationship with South Summit. And secondly, congrats to Valencia, because According to Startup Link, now they are the third city in Spain in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I am called Achuti. I am the FDA director of the government of Biscay, Diputación Foral de Vizcaya. And we are trying to develop, more than trying, we have developed a strategy which we call Biscay Startup Bay, which is based in 4 big pillars. First one is concentrators. We have rented like a public sector 10,000 square meter just focus on entrepreneurship. We are developing an accelerator / incubator which we are going to open in September, so everyone is invited to come to Bilbao for the inauguration. And this center is going to be run, it's not going to be run by the public sector, it's going to be run by private sector. And we launched a public tender last year, and the winner of the public tender was a joint venture, a JV between Price and Talent Garden. So they are going to run our concentrator, our lighthouse, as we call. Second pillar is connectivity. We are here in Madrid. We are not Madrid. We are very proud of being of Bilbao. We have a very good football team, but we are not Madrid. So we have to be connected. So we have set up a relationship with the most innovative ecosystem, which we think. For example, we have a long-term relationship with Tel Aviv. We have a relationship with Boston, Helsinki, Latam, Japan with Fukuoka, Thrive in Singapore, because from our perspective, the most important is to be connected. Thirdly is multi-corporate. In the Basque region, just 2 minutes. In the Basque region, and especially in this case, we have still a very big corporates, and we have created one entrepreneurship ecosystem based on open innovation. And fourthly, and I will talk later about fourthly because it's one of our strengths, is taxation. I want to close my mouth now.
Thank you, Goldo. Well, the topic of the conference is from north to south, so let's go now to the very south. I'm Pablo Hernandez. I'm the president of the Canary Island Special Tax Zone. So this is a special tax regime, and an agency of the Ministry of Finance of Spain in charge of the tax incentives in Spain. What we are developing in the Canary Islands is basically, as most places, an ecosystem, but this is based, we are far from the mainland. So we are trying to build an ecosystem that is based on the opportunities, I will talk later about that, that you have actually in the Canary Islands. Basically, in the Canary Islands, there's some companies or some people are calling us and telling us, well, Intel has recently established a startup in the Canary Islands, or Netflix is doing some of the work in there. Some tech companies are doing the work there for Lufthansa, like the virtual reality for Lufthansa. IKEA is doing some of the IT in the Canary Islands. And so people are calling us and saying, what is going on? What is happening in the Canary Islands? You are actually a touristic place. But since some time ago, being far has not been that problem because of remote work, because of other things. So basically with what we are trying to focus is on bringing this opportunity to companies and trying to help them with a strong soft landing, an absolutely strong soft landing so they can cover all the needs that they have. That is the talent, employment. We provide them with a full package on how to establish themselves, with capital and connectivity. Surprisingly, the Canary Islands is one of the best connected regions in Europe. We are far, but because of our touristic natural environment, according to Financial Times, we are the 4th best connected region in Europe. And the latency of our internet is one of the lowest as compared to Europe. So this is why a lot of companies are establishing themselves and startups in the Canary Islands. Plus, or as a consequence, according to Eurostat, is the fastest growing region in technology in Spain, and probably the 8th fastest growing region in Europe, according to Eurostat. So I think the work, being islands, being separated, being really far, we have put a lot of effort on bringing all these services as the colleagues to the companies that are establishing themselves in there, and this is working. Plus, of course, the tax incentives. Only 4% corporate income tax, rebates on research and development of technology of up to 90% of the costs you can get back, either in cash or sometimes as a tax credit. So this, of course, boosts the financials of the startups, and it's probably the reason, also one of the reasons jointly with talent and connectivity, that is bringing the Canary Islands closer to the continent in terms of building a tech ecosystem and a startup ecosystem. So let's jump to second area that all of us mentioned, the connection, the talent. And let's jump into, it's one of the main challenges probably for the startups. So let's ask our colleagues what they're doing to put companies together, to bring the talent, to bring the knowledge. What are you doing in Valencia?
Well, I would
In
like to talk.
Asturias,
I would like to talk about Asturias.
Asturias,
No
sorry.
matter. But thank you, Pablo. I think everything is about talent. Anything can be created without talent, with people with capacity of execution, and with people with, brilliant mindsets. Because the challenges are so high. So I would say that Asturias, from the formal point of view, and according to the last COTEC report, I would say we are in the third position in retention of talent. Why? Because we have this quality of life. It's the Atlantic quality of life, not the Mediterranean, but it is, however. And I would say we are in the fourth position in availability of engineers and researchers. Engineers and researchers, you can imagine there's a very interesting profile for everything which is related to green, to digital, and so a lot of things. But this is only for the formal point of view. What I think talent means, and have different approaches to really create the word talent, it's also about the capacity of these people to be integrated in an ecosystem which is, it is friendly and who has the inputs and the assets to really make grow the talent. So what I think is the unique opportunity of Asturias is also linked to the manufacturing culture, because we have a region who is proud to the industrial culture. All of you are aware that after the pandemic, there are some very big discussions about the possibility to remanufacturing the Europe, to really create different points in the value chains, in the international value chains. And I think you cannot create this culture from scratch. So what we do in Asturias is try that the new talent is in contact with, this talent based from industrial, because you cannot create this from zero. It's only about open innovation programs where, all these people coming with new sets are also willing to really support and to really make better the leadership and industrial capacities and creating new opportunities for all these challenges. So I think talent is entrepreneurial mindset, is industrial mindset, and is, of course, everything related to education.
So what about Valencia? Now it's Valencia.
I know, Valencia.
Valencia, yes. And really, our challenge a few years ago was how about retain this talent, no? Because most of the entrepreneurs, when they need to scale their startups, they had to come here, maybe to Madrid or Barcelona or UK, or Berlin maybe. But in the last years, we have solved it, and we think that the most important thing to solve this problem was to build a strong ecosystem. Because now in your ecosystem, we have investors, local investors, but also international investors. And then you have the opportunity now to develop your talent and to attract talent. And now our challenge is how to attract more talent. Because now we have a global competition, also with Asturias, with Alicante, with País Vasco, with Madrid, with Canarias, no? How to attract this talent, no? The digital nomads, for example, with Canarias. And for us, it's very important our network of accelerators or incubators that we have in Valencia. Because companies like Lanzadera, or maybe Global Omnium, Demium, I don't know, Insomnia, and many projects or programs that we have there, it's very important for us to attract this talent. Because if they come to Valencia the first time, our goal is how to attract for the first time. Because when they come here or when they come to Valencia, after they will come back, and they will develop maybe some business there. So we are running the program about the Valencia Digital Summit also, because it's an opportunity to have 10,000 people there, and most of them are from other countries, so they know the city, they know the ecosystem. So maybe the talent needs now quality of life, of course, Mediterranean or Atlantic, it's not a problem, but also they need a strong ecosystem with more opportunities to change or to jump from one startup to another startup, or to a company, or something like this. So for us, we think that developing the ecosystem is one of the strongest strategy to retain and attract the talent. Yeah.
So let's go, same in the Comunidad de Valencia, to Alicante.
I think we all agree that talent is everything, no? And seeing here in South Meadow how much energy there's in every room, it's already a proof of it. I think talent is very relevant, like in 3 different lines. The first one is what is the talent that is locally? And in this sense, Alicante had 5 universities and more than 40 degrees. The second point is, okay, how is a city attracting talent from other parts? And why these persons want to stay in Alicante? And then the third point will be the ecosystem. How is a city and how is the local talent connected with the outside world? We have different initiatives in place in this sense, especially in the area, in the scene of technology, which is the strongest one here. Alicante is becoming a reference for artificial intelligence. The proof of it is that we have ELIS, which is one of the European Union research and development centers for artificial intelligence, and is the only one in the south of Europe. Then there's different initiatives. The port is making a hub for innovation and technology around the transportation and port technology. We have strong companies like Accenture, Softec, Everest that have decided to have a site there. This is the case of Accenture, for example. They have an innovation area responsible or working for all Europe, placed in Alicante, and at the same time, Alicante has been a city with a very strong business culture since the antique even. So there's a lot of culture for the startups, small entrepreneurs. And there's also a relevant ecosystem in the field of culture and technology that is merging together with a dedicated place and a dedicated ecosystem and activities. Regarding why people normally want to live in Alicante and come here, it's becoming a reference regarding corporate and non-corporate nomads. And it's becoming a reference because you have this combination of the quality of life is very good, it's Mediterranean, the cost of living is still very reasonable, and it's a very medium-sized city with a strong ecosystem. The airport is the 5th one in Spain, so it's very well connected to England, Finland. We have a very, very strong community of Finland. For example, entrepreneurs who have set up loud. Can you hear me if I speak loud? The device order. We have also a very strong community of companies of Finland which is based in Alicante. And finally, the ecosystem is somehow connecting all the dots with the airport. It's very easy to go to England, to France, to US, etc. That's
Thank
it.
you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Let's go
I
to...
have to use this. We don't have the sun as Asturias. But I think that in spite of being in the highest position about university students, and Bilbao has been the first or the best city to retain talent, we have a big problem or big challenge. And I have to say the truth. And this is the reason why, as we don't have enough talent, not only for our current companies, but the new companies as well, we created a public agency, Vizcaya Talent, to attract and to take care, because you know better than us that when you decide to move to one place, he or she doesn't go alone. You probably go with she, or he, or I don't know. So we had to take care of them. So we have launched a program, the Dual Career Program, to take care the partner of the people or the person who has decided to go to the Basque region, in this case Bilbao. And as we have to compete against the sun, we have launched a new, I would say, a new impact tax regime, and we copy the model of the non-DOMs in the UK, because as you know, most of them know that we have the tax power, so we can decide about some taxes. So we have decided to take care again the talent, not only from the perspective of the arriving in Bilbao, but from the taxation as well. So we are giving them mostly 30% of the exemption in their personal income tax, and later a lot of advantages of being here, being in Bilbao, we are not in Bilbao, and the only condition is that you have to be living in abroad for 5 years. Madrid is not included, because everyone tells me that, and Madrid is included in these 5 years? No, you have to live abroad. So you decide to come back here, we have to try to combine taxes and this agency, but we have a big, big problem there.
So this doesn't work. Thank you. So regarding, I think that everybody's telling more or less a challenge that Spain had in the past and still has, but I think we're improving on that side. That is the retention of talent. I think Spain has some of the best universities in Europe, but a lot of people were going abroad to work in other companies, and so everybody was trying to retain talent. In the Canary Islands, we were trying to retain talent. You have to know that we have the best astrophysics institute in Europe. We have the best testing spot in the sea in Europe. So we have really good top research and education facilities. But those persons were normally going abroad to work, either to the mainland or to abroad. But because of the pandemic, the remote working and everything, this is changing a lot. And now, on the one side, those people that were working abroad in some countries are coming back to the Canary Islands to start their startups, because in there, quality of living is much higher and the cost of living is lower. So that means that with the same salaries, probably you're living just better as compared to living in any capital city in Europe, especially abroad, that is much more expensive. In the Canary Islands, you have better salaries, better quality of living, and better implicit salaries. That regarding the local talent that went abroad. But now what is happening is not only the people that went abroad are coming back, but people from abroad are coming to the Canary Islands just to live there and work remotely from there. This is creating an interesting ecosystem where this is one of the reasons why we are the fastest growing region in IT talent in Spain. A lot of people from Europe are coming there with top skills. And that is really interesting for all the startups that are being developed in there. That's probably on how we are working with remote work, this low latency, I already said about that. But regarding the local talent, we are working intimately with the companies that are coming and putting them in touch to universities and local professional education, so they say exactly what they want, that they work together to fit precisely the talent that they need. And this is, recently the Spanish government, the Spanish parliament passed the law about professional education, and they are putting the spotlight on this. So basically the startups are educating their own workers within or in touch with the schools. And this is one of the things that is probably attracting a lot of startups. Also, the island councils are providing with specific upskilling education. Let's have the skills or the talented people that we already have in here, or we can bring from Europe and upscale it to new needs, seniority, etc. So I think the opportunity in Spain, in the past, we were all talking about the quality of living. Do you work in here? You live much better than in Europe. But people were too fast living in those big European cities and not paying attention to move. No, I'm focused on my work. And probably the pandemic stopped us a little bit. People just make their sites further, and suddenly the opportunity arises with Spain in general and with the Canary Islands in particular. So I think this is I think we are working all together, and it's making Spain a hotspot for startups and work in Europe. So let's go to the last part. We have very short time left. So very briefly, what is the opportunity for startups and companies in Asturias? Summarizing very briefly.
And apparently the only one that needs the micro, so yours is working.
Okay, mine? No, not really. No. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay, I'm the lucky one. I'm the lucky one. Okay, so just say that if I come back, if I talk about, industrial culture, manufacturing, it's about raw material, which means the new generation of materials who is coming. It's about, the economy, circular economy, because we are talking about the beginning of the chain, when everything can be still think and not in the chain. We talk about manufacturing, but we talk about energy, everything which is related to renewable energies, grids, and the way of managing energy. And from the point of view of life science and bio, let me say that Asturias is a region who has very aging population. And why don't think that Asturias could be a platform to really test new products and new services for the new generation of products and services that we need, for the future, for this kind of aging society. So I think every region is positioning according to their regional strategies, which is, this kind of buzzword in EU love a lot, but it has a real meaning. Place-based ecosystem needs that we need to find our unique opportunities and really create ecosystem around this opportunity. And probably here we are not competing, but we are collaborating, which is the real word.
Okay. Yes. In Valencia, we have the size enough to have the right connections with the traditional industries, with the investors, with the institutions, but also we have the opportunity to develop a life there, with a lot of quality. We are connected with Madrid by 1 hour and 30 minutes by train, by AVE. So we think that we have the opportunities for these kind of startups to come and to try to develop here their projects. We have also the programs that I said before, and it's only to try and to start. And also we need that the entrepreneurs come to Spain, to the different regions, to try to start and to develop different kinds of ecosystems.
Thank you very much. What about Alicante?
I will make it short because we're running out of time. I will repeat our slogan, which is Mediterranean life and business quality. What does it really mean? It means energy, it means talent, it means connection, it means being in a city, but at the same time being connected outside. And I will somehow resume it with the word energy, which is a little bit the feeling that is here today. And another one, which is a very relevant one, which is collaboration.
Yes, in 20 seconds, to give you another 20 seconds. Yeah, I think that's firstly, we have to collaborate between us because it makes a lot of sense and we have our strengths. Secondly, I would say about the ecosystem that if you are a corporate, you are a startup which would like to work with a corporate, the place is Bilbao. Why? Because we have the tax credits for corporates, for investors, and the open innovation policies. So, and we have the corporate as well. So I will say, like claim, the Sky Startup Bay, the open innovation ecosystem.
Thank you.
20 seconds, eh?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because we have all of you said collaboration. I think to put Spain on the spotlight is a lot about the different nuances that each region has. They have slightly different hubs and collaborating. I mean, this world is super big. Spain is not that super large. So combining the different hubs, I think is really interesting. In the Canary Islands, I think the opportunity is linked to what we have. I started when I said before. What we have is the sea, so a lot of technology regarding sea is being developed and tested in probably in the community, the region in Spain with the largest part of sea. But also regarding air and space, we have a lot of startups developing works on that, not in the large part, but maybe you can also do like the small tech developing in air and space. But also the opportunity, apart from the natural thing, I would add there is a strong opportunity on testing, some of you commented, regarding the European market. The European market is super important for startups. In Spain, in the Canary Islands, we have 15 million tourists from 42 nationalities. That means that in a single spot, you can test all the products that you want the whole year. This, you cannot do it in any place in Europe. That's a great opportunity. And probably one of the on-top opportunities in the Canary Islands is the tax incentives. 4% corporate income tax, no dividend taxation, no interest taxation, no capital gain taxation. This means that when a startup is in there, they have the talent and they can go to venture capital and raise the capital in better conditions. That's also a strong thing. Precisely last week, we approved for accessing this business is like, yeah, this is the payment for the moderation. for the last week we just approved, and I finished with this. To access these tax incentives, you have to create 5 jobs in the Canary Islands or 3 and invest 100,000 euros. Last week, we eliminated the 100,000 euros investment, so it's only to hire people, not immediately, but in the short term. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody.